Think of the animals we consider standard. Deer are elegant, grass-munching herbivores. Chameleons are colorful little reptiles that hide in plain sight. Termites are annoying house pests, and shrimp are basically bite-sized cocktail snacks. But evolutionary history is a catalog of chaotic development, where biology pushes out glitched, wildly overpowered survival mechanics. We are going to audit the biological stats of these four seemingly basic creatures to see what they are actually capable of. The animals sitting at the bottom of the food chain are secretly equipped with military-grade hardware and survival tactics so unhinged they defy every expectation we have about the natural world. Take the baseline shrimp build. There are roughly 3,000 species of these chronically hunched arthropods. Some operate as dedicated reef mechanics, performing a specific side-by-side rocking dance to let fish know their cleaning station is open to eat dead scales and parasites. Lacking fins, they use leg-like structures called pleopods to walk around the ocean floor. But if threatened, they flick their tail in a fraction of a second, propelling themselves backward with so much speed it looks like actual teleportation. And then there is the pistol shrimp variant. This crustacean snaps its oversized claws so violently that it fires a high-speed jet of water, creating an instant, localized drop in pressure. This pressure drop forces a bubble to form in the ocean. Because of the surrounding water weight, that bubble collapses instantly. The resulting friction spikes the internal temperature to over 4,000 degrees Celsius and generates a 200 decibel shockwave that literally creates a flash of light. The sound of entire colonies of these shrimps snapping their claws is so deafening that it actively interferes with sonar detectors. During World War II, Allied submarines purposefully navigated beneath these exact colonies, masking their own acoustic signatures to hide from enemy ships. A tiny crustacean operating as a localized sonic weapon platform, powerful enough to hide multi-ton military vessels in plain sight. Consider the termite. Biologically speaking, these insects are an evolutionary branch of wood-eating cockroaches. Their social structure is so successful that they've spread to every single biome on Earth, with this frozen wasteland being the one exception. Look at this cross-section of a termite mound. To support colonies of over 1 million individuals, these roaches construct monolithic towers up to 42 feet tall. These are brilliantly engineered HVAC systems, acting as artificial lungs, precisely venting carbon dioxide out and pulling oxygen in to keep the internal temperature locked at exactly 31 degrees Celsius. But the workers building these towers are completely blind and highly sensitive to sunlight. They don't actually live inside the structures they build. The mound is essentially a massive exhaust pipe for the sprawling, maze-like network they inhabit deep underground. The engine driving this entire subterranean factory is the queen. Her abdomen is 100 times the size of a normal worker, and she can live for over 50 years. She drops an egg every 3 seconds, non-stop, ultimately producing up to 100 million offspring in her lifetime. They overcome their physical vulnerabilities through relentless, industrialized reproduction and climate-controlled megastructures. The chameleon's color shifting is an automatic, driven response to its current emotional or situational state. They are green for neutral, red when angry, and shift to dull colors when afraid. They also possess a hidden visual trait. Their bones naturally glow under ultraviolet light. Because chameleons can see the UV spectrum, females use the intensity of these glowing pigments to judge and select their potential mates. When it comes to hunting, their eyes operate on dual axes, rotating independently to scan 2 different scenes at once. Once a target is acquired, both eyes snap forward, locking onto the prey. Then they deploy a tongue stretching up to twice their total body length. It launches with an acceleration of 2,600 meters per second squared, generating over 250 Gs of force. The entire strike is virtually invisible to the human eye. The chameleon has evolved a high-velocity biological sniper system where its true survival advantage lies in its invisible, explosive hunting speed. We project a lot of innocence onto deer, treating them strictly as peaceful, grazing herbivores. In reality, when nutrients are scarce, deer will readily consume birds, rabbits, and even fish to survive. This dietary flexibility is so ingrained that certain evolutionary offshoots, like the Siberian musk deer and the water deer, completely abandon the need to grow antlers. Instead, these grass-eating animals possess 10-centimeter-long fangs protruding from their mouths. Even standard antlers involve intense biological horror. They aren't just solid bone. While growing nearly an inch every day, they are highly sensitive, nerve-filled organs encased in a layer of bleeding skin called velvet. Only once they are fully formed do the nerves sever, leaving kind, dead, painless bone ornaments. Their survival mechanics get darker during reproduction. A malnourished pregnant deer can absorb her own fetus to siphon its energy to stay alive. If the fawn is born successfully, the mother will routinely eat its pee and poop for the first 3 weeks just to scrub their scent profile and hide them from predators. These survivalist traits made them incredibly abundant, so much so that their hides became a foundational human currency. In the 1800s, goods were heavily traded for their pelts, firmly establishing the term buckskin, which is exactly why we still refer to our modern money as bucks today. The deer persists through brutal pragmatism, enduring immense physical pain and sacrificing its own young to ensure its genetic line continues. Nature operates as a ruthless, highly competitive. That crucible is what forces sound-wielding crustaceans, giant roach queens, sniper reptiles, and fanged deer into existence. The fauna in our backyards and oceans are running deeply complex sci-fi tier adaptations that routinely put human engineering to shame. So the next time you look at a seemingly basic creature, remember to check the specs, because reality's biological patch notes will always be stranger than fiction.